time for 3 burning questions with Otis. Three.
Nephew Otis in the house.
And I just honestly, I don't know football. That football playing Otis. Hope you're having a good training camp leading up to the season. I know youth football, they get going early. Has he played, they have a game this weekend? Or?
So he's in a feeder league for Decatur High School, and all the teams are the Decatur Bulldogs, and it's just different age groups, which is probably how you get to have good high school football teams.
Yep.
Running the same system. I mean, if the coaches are aligned, you're like basically teaching the fundamentals of what they're going to be learning when they're at the varsity level. And I guess they got delayed on their helmets a week, but they do it right, man. I mean, they start in mid-July. I guess it's kind of commonplace with a lot of football programs, but it's all really conditioning in the beginning, getting them in shape. And then they start doing football fundamentals, and then just kind of, slowly but gradually get into pads, shells to pads. So it's, from what I've heard, it looks like he is part of a good organization that knows how to teach young men of the age of 11 how to not only play the game of football, but love the game of football.
Hell yeah. He's going to be playing tight end?
Man,
Where they got him at?
I think
D-end?
he's going to start at offensive guard.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the
Get
younger
in the
guys.
trenches.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, he's a big boy.
Little Rhino Tapato tire.
Yeah. We're working on the kick step, if he ever gets moved out to right tackle. But, I'm like, look, buddy, you got a lot of great years ahead of you, and you're learning the game. So what you need to do is have fun and learn the game. And tight end's got to block too. So where can you learn to block better than anywhere than, inside the box?
No
with
doubt.
the 5 guys, right?
Yeah.
And I said, look, your nephew, Xavier, played quarterback for a number of years, was a, all county tight end his senior year in high school. But the first position I made him play? Offensive tackle. Because I'm a good dad.
That's what I'm talking about. Start him on the O-line.
Yeah.
Start him inside, build him out, if that's the path.
Hey, man.
Love it.
Exactly.
All right. With that being said, let's get to question number 1.
Nephew Otis here with 3 burning questions, and none of them are about the Hall of Fame game. Let's go. Woo! Question 1. Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs all got new contracts, but none of them will make more money than Zay Flowers, who never scores more than 6 touchdowns in a season. Seriously, make it make sense to my 11-year-old brain.
It doesn't make sense, Otis. It really doesn't, because Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and who's the other running back that
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Even Saquon Barkley. The running back position has evolved over the last several years into guys that are just the ultimate Swiss Army players. Yes, they're really good runners, but you can use them in the passing game. To me, those are more effective than whatever the hell Zay Flowers can do, with all due respect. So I think Zay Flowers is a good receiver, but compared to those names that we just talked about, I mean, those running backs are elite. So, Otis, it doesn't make sense.
It's called the market, baby. And the market right now, or actually, a while back, the market for running backs got depressed because they're viewed as fungible. And how did that happen? Well, you got a guy like Terrell Davis in the 6th round from Georgia that did something. So if I can get this guy in the 6th round, why am I spending a first rounder, and why am I paying so much money? You get a guy like Fast Willie Parker that was an undrafted free agent from North Carolina and the Steelers, and the list goes on and on. But now, I think the trend is changing. And if you look at the last 2 Super Bowl winners, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're riding the Saquon Barkley train. Without Saquon Barkley, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. And last year, the Super Bowl MVP is Kenneth Walker III, who's now playing in Kansas City, who had a great playoffs, actually. But he was the guy for Seattle in that Super Bowl against New England. So I think it's changing. It's called capitalism. It's called the market. Le'Veon Bell held out over this very issue because he was also a Swiss Army knife. He was one of the best receivers on the team and running backs, and sat out a year.
That's true.
And that didn't work out for him because he ended up on the Jets. So, it's
and became a failed rapper.
Yeah. And a failed, following court orders on child support. But that aside, the market's going to change, and you're going to see more of these guys come in and move the market. And Bijan did that, and then Jahmyr Gibbs did that. But if anybody said, I'll trade you Zay Flowers for Bijan Robinson in reality or in fantasy football, you would tell them to go bleep themselves. So it makes no sense from a reality standpoint, but that's what the market is.
And by the way, Otis, ask your dad about the whole Zay Flowers, Zay Jones situation if you haven't already.
Yeah, it was.
I caused a big ruckus in the Franco's Italian Brigade.
Yeah,
right?
Franco's Italian Brigade fantasy football draft, which we have to do virtually this year.
Damn,
it's because of scheduling. Sucks. I hate missing my guys.
Yeah, always a good time. All right, let's get to question number 2.
Question 2. My uncle Amir, who's a Raiders fan, loves Jacoby Brissett for reasons that can't be explained. Who is a random mediocre player that you love for reasons that cannot be explained?
Okay, Ali, who is that guy for you?
Well,
I love that he choke slammed Amir right there. That
oh,
was
he
good.
did. This was supposedly a thing when Xavier, my brother, were in Atlanta for the 4th of July. And I still don't know the full story of the Jacoby Brissett controversy. But let me start with this. If you play in the NFL, you're not a mediocre player. Okay? There's no mediocre players in the NFL.
No.
So let's start with that baseline. This is actually kind of a on topic for me. I don't know if, I'll say random players. So yesterday, I'm doing some stuff around my house, and I turn on YouTube, and I was going to go to YouTube TV, but YouTube comes on first for me. And it's like week 2 highlights of the 1977 season. It's called Inside the NFL. Now, let me walk you back into a time warp where you guys will not understand. Imagine this. There's no internet. There's no phones. All right. There's 4 channels on TV. CBS, ABC, NBC, and PBS. And then if you're lucky, you get the signal from the local station, Channel 11. But only if you're lucky. And there's 2 wires on top of the TV that you got to move around to get a good signal. And your TV is 8 feet thick. Okay, so I've set the scene.
8 feet thick.
You get football on Sunday, you get football on Monday, and no other football. And the only way you know what's happening in scores is you might turn on the radio to see what's happening, or you got to look at the ticker down below. But on Saturdays, there was a show called Inside the NFL, and they played the highlights from a lot of NFL games. So I turned that on, and that's the way we consume football. Back in my day, when we walked uphill in the snow, both ways, yelling at the clouds. So that, and in order to find Inside the NFL, you had to go to this little magazine called TV Guide to see when it was playing. And TV Guide not always accurate.
Nope.
But if you miss the show, you're not ever going to watch that show.
Yeah.
Ever. There's no replays. There's no TiVo. There's no recordings. So you really got to make sure where you are Saturdays. So you watch Inside the NFL. So I watched it yesterday, and it was just like good nostalgia. I was like, Nat Moore for the Miami Dolphins. Joe Ferguson, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Bob Avellini played quarterback for the Bears. Chuck Muncie, who later played for the Chargers, was originally a New Orleans Saints running back. You know who his quarterback was? Manning. Archie Manning. So is there a mediocre? There's no mediocre players in the NFL, and I like guys. I like the special teams guys. Like the Robert Goldens from Arizona, who was a special teams captain for the Steelers,
Yep.
right? Those guys that make a difference and are part of the game, but maybe they're not lighting up the stat sheet. So there's no random players. I like Vince Evans, the left-handed quarterback for the Bears. He wasn't that great. But
Okay.
yeah.
Is Lorenzo Neal in that category?
Sure.
The great fullback?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, again,
He was my guy.
not a mediocre,
Yeah.
great football.
Yeah.
Playing in the NFL. But yeah, you find a kind of an affinity for guys, and you're like, I don't know why I like this guy so much, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
What about
You know what, Otis? I'm going to give you an answer. And your dad will know where this is coming from. Get ready to laugh. Hobie Brenner, tight end for the New Orleans Saints.
Hobie Brenner.
Hobie Brenner. Loved Hobie Brenner. And then me and my other brother, Amir, called Omid Hobie Brenner for many years.
Hobie Brenner.
Yeah, it's like, man, you're just a Hobie Brenner.
What a Hobie Brenner this guy's being.
A big lumbering tight end. Doesn't do really anything well. But, man, when you need a gap filled and you got nobody else, you can throw on Hobie Brenner.
All right, Ollie, before we go to question two, question three,
Yeah.
because my guy is, I mean, he was a first-round pick. He was great at he's fantastic at Arizona, one of the greatest defensive backs in program history, Antoine Cason.
Yeah.
But, by NFL standards, right, was never Pro Bowler, none of that. So I guess I'll put him in that category. Got a lot of compliments in Tucson, Arizona, and San Diego whenever I wore my Antoine Cason Chargers jersey. Random Juve basketball player that maybe isn't like, when you think about the greatest ever, it's not a name that you think of, but was kind of in that middle tier to mediocre.
Did they make the NBA?
Maybe, because my guy's Fendi Onabun,
Oh,
who did not make the NBA. He made the NFL as a tight end, play for the Rams.
Yeah. Man, there's so many. I mean, I always kind of had an affinity for AJ Bramlett. Just thought he
Yeah.
always did everything the right way. I kind of found my low game was a lot like Joe Blair,
Okay.
right? I use my butt a lot and I can't jump. So, but man, I had a soft touch around the rim. So there's so many. I think that this favorite player thing, whether it's football or basketball, if there's a UVA guy, I think of like Randy Robbins, who plays safety for the Broncos. Like if there's a UVA guy, especially when I was growing up playing in the NFL, you always had your look. You're always looking out for that guy.
Always.
That's not a reason you can't explain.
Yeah, I can explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otis was just looking for the randoms.
like
Yeah.
the super deep
Yeah.
cut randoms, but that's
Because otherwise it would be Khalil Tate for Justin.
Oh yeah, hand in the Heisman, man. All right, that's a good question for our listeners. Who is your favorite random athlete, whether it's pro sports or Arizona Wildcats? Hit us up at 520-719-1490.
That you have like no connection to whatsoever.
All right, let's go to question.
By the way, the Steelers lost in week 2 in 77, 16-7.
Let's go to question number 3.
Question 3. We've hit the part of the sports calendar where there's very little to talk about. I'm thinking before all my Sundays for 5 straight months getting swallowed up by football, maybe I should read a book? Spears and Ollie, please suggest one historical figure you think I should read about.
One historical figure that you should read about.
All right, now we're really testing your schooling here, Justin.
One historical. Well, I mean, it's a figure, right?
Right.
Okay.
For an 11-year-old
Yeah. Darth
Okay.
Vader.
to learn, yeah. And it can't be anything related to the Family Guy.
Okay.
It can't be a cartoon. It has to be a real person.
Okay. I was gonna say, is he old enough for the Art of War? But that's not about someone.
The art of
War. Read some Sun Tzu.
Read some Sun Tzu, man.
Yeah.
Have you read Sun Tzu?
I read the Art of War.
All
Yeah.
right. Cliff Notes version or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Really?
Yes, I read the Art of War.
And you were able to decipher it all without any kind of commentary?
I mean, not when I was like 11.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, I read the Art of War.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I just got to say, of all the answers that you could possibly give, you surprised me there.
Million years, I never would have guessed Sun Tzu.
I'm going to give you 2, Otis. I think if you're going to read about one figure and you want to keep it to sports, Muhammad Ali. Because Muhammad Ali, the era he lived in, a lot of things he went through, it's kind of interwoven with the fabric of our country's history during that time period. And a lot of important things happened around that time. Civil Rights Act, which he was very passionate about. Vietnam War, which he would not serve. So there were Supreme Court cases that came out from that. So there's a lot of history just within the life and times of Muhammad Ali. And then if you want to go even further back and kind of the founding of our country, and again, look, nobody's perfect, and it's like the times, and I know, like, okay, but I found the biography of Thomas Jefferson to be fascinating and a very complicated man, but a lot of the thoughts that he had back then, very visionary. A lot of his commentary and thoughts back then really apply to today. So Even the John Adams, Thomas Jefferson died on the same day within minutes of each other on the 4th of July. And each one's last words are basically, at least the other guy survived. I know the country will be okay. And they're like, hate to tell you.
Do we tell him?
Yeah. I don't think we tell them. Thank God they didn't have Twitter back then. So I love the Thomas Jefferson, John Adams kind of history around the founding of our country. But if you want to keep it to sports, man, Muhammad Ali can't beat that.
Can I give an answer?
Certainly.
Keep
Keep it quick. We are running out of time.
I will. Keeping it in sports, Rube Waddell. Go look up Rube Waddell. He was a baseball player in like the 1800s. Fascinating man. A very strange career. Kind of tragic.
Okay.
But look it up. Rube Waddell.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Outside, look up Ibn Sina. He was like a 11th century philosopher and physician in the Arab Empire.
Yeah.
So.
And then notice when you get to 12, you can move to Descartes, maybe some Socrates,
Yep.
Plato, and then maybe you work yourself up to Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Art of War. All right. That is it for 3 burning questions with Nephew Otis. I mean, if we're going to do a sports suggestion, Jeff Pearlman has a really good biography on Walter Payton called Sweetness. So
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next on Spears and Ali, well, shout out to Nephew Otis. Appreciate you, man, as always, for your 3 burning questions. All right, let's get to some Arizona football training camp talk right here on Spears and Ali. Don't
Otis,
anywhere.
head up, explode those hips.
Yep. No land wars in Asia.
Yeah, no, definitely not.